guys have been asking the most amazing questions through our Instagram stories and also through all of our comments across all of our social media platforms. And we're really trying to focus on creating content that you want to see. So a lot of you guys have been asking, how can I get faster at fills? Very valid question. We do talk a lot about this in our trainings, but I'm gonna speed track the answers here in this video. I'm really excited to drop this one to you. Before we dive into the good stuff, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, all the good stuff so that we can always bring content right to your screen. So how this video is gonna work, I'm gonna first start by talking about things that you can do as an artist before the client even comes to see you. That's gonna help with retention and make your services much faster. And then from there, I have a live model coming in and I'm gonna walk you through actual service steps that you can follow to get your retention on point. I'm super excited to share all of this stuff with you, and I think you're gonna really like this video. So it all starts with great retention. If we don't have amazing retention, how can we possibly expect our fills to run smoothly and fast? In the beginning, don't worry if your fills are taking so long and they're much more like a full set. In fact, you might even prefer doing a full set. Just know that that's all part of learning. That's just a thing that happens to all of us, and it really comes down to the products you're using, understanding the products that you're using, focusing on application, really making sure that that base is perfectly flush with the natural lash, becoming comfortable with working on any natural lashes. So my suggestion to you is to get as many people to come into you that are challenging as possible. Ask your grandmother, ask your aunt who's in her 60s, ask your whatever, it doesn't matter. Ask anyone that you can who has challenging lashes. The reason why I'm moving more towards older clientele is because as we age, our lashes change and they do become quite fine and hard to isolate and hard to work with. But the more you work with challenging lashes, the better you get across all services. So get every single person you can dream up to come in, get curly lash clients to come in. Don't be afraid to make mistakes because we learn so fast by making mistakes. So generally speaking, for fills, we're looking for about 50% retention at about a 2 to 3 week mark. The reason why I say 2 to 3 weeks is because every single client is unique in that they have a different number of natural lashes to work with, they have different lifestyles, and all of these things really do make a difference when it comes to retention. So 2 weeks for those who are, say, avid gym goers, people who have oily skin, just really feeling out your clients. What I do is I have them come back in at 2 weeks. The first time I see them, I'm like, okay, your first fill, come to see me at 2 weeks, and then from there, we'll assess how you're doing. If they have 50% retention at that 2 week mark, let's keep them at that 2 week mark for fills. And then down the line, if their retention starts becoming amazing, awesome, move them to 3 weeks. So a way to prevent clients from coming in to see you with 4 or 5 lashes at like a 4 week plus mark is by pre-booking. We can really focus on practicing, like I've already said, and making sure that we're locking clients in for a certain time for their fills. Because clients, they don't know, they're not the lash artists, they just know when their lashes start looking bad, it's time to come see you. But it's our job to have the clients come see us, book them in for a service before their lashes look bad. So always pre-book. It holds the client accountable for their appointment and will definitely help us get faster at our services and also build a nice schedule that works for everyone. I should mention too that there are services such as the spiked looks, a strip lash look, where there's only about 8 spikes placed across the entire eye. For those services, it's not realistic to come in even at 2 to 3 weeks. If you want those spikes to look and last well, you're gonna have to come in for mini fills every week. And that's something we just have to really get comfortable explaining to our clients, just letting them know what the expectations are and feeling really comfortable in having those conversations. And that really comes with knowing what you're doing. Really study your theory and know it through and through. Same with product knowledge. So every single lash service, doesn't matter if it's a fill or a full set, we should always make sure that we're doing pre-service steps. The reason why we're doing that is because if we have oils, debris, dirt collected and sitting on those lashes, you're gonna seriously struggle to get the extensions to make that magnetic-like bond and really hold on to the natural lash. And even if we do make that connection, remember that if there's buildup on the lashes, we are actually connecting our extension to the buildup. not to the natural lash cuticle. And if we have buildup on the lashes and we're connecting to that buildup, then eventually as that buildup begins to deteriorate and just leave the lashes, so will the extensions. So we should always expect for those natural lashes to shed with the extensions. That is what we're looking for out of every single lash set that we do. So first thing you're gonna do pre-service wise is grab yourself a lash bath or a Scentsy bath and a soft bristled lash brush. These are really important because they are lash safe and very light. You don't want anything heavy like we don't want oils of course, but we don't want anything that's going to leave residue on the lashes. Foam cleansers, light foam cleansers in particular, are definitely the go because they're easy to wash away. And the reason why we use a nice cleansing brush with soft bristles is because we want to make sure we particularly clean around the base of the natural lashes and the extensions. That's where we're looking for that connection. So the base has to be really clean all around each individual natural lash. Now it's time to get the natural lashes ready for adhesion. So we're going to change the chemistry just temporarily of that natural lash. The goal is to soften the cuticle so the glue can actually penetrate into the natural lash and make a very solid, good connection. That is where we prime. I'm using Bondai Primer today. It smells amazing and it is so effective. By priming, I find I do get that magnetic connection. It is a game changer. And yes, I prime for any full set and fills. People always ask that question. People also always ask, is the primer gonna dry out the natural lashes? And they really believe that this is a concern. The natural lashes are constantly growing and shedding and growing and shedding, and they're more resilient than we think. Yes, any product that's alcohol-based or even putting glue on the natural lashes, that is in fact drying, of course. However, it's not of concern because as we grow those lashes out and they shed, new ones grow right back in their place. So don't worry about drying out the natural lashes. Now let's talk about the glue. Definitely make sure you're using the right glue for you, your environment, your speed, and your client's natural lashes. I've been lashing for 8+ years. I would consider myself to be a pretty advanced artist, and I love working with a 1-second cure time adhesive. But I do have some clients, like what I was talking about earlier, older clientele, curly lash clients, any unruly lashes, or just when I'm working on a new style. If I'm really focusing on mapping or making different fans or whatever, it's something new to me, I need to work with a slower cure time adhesive even as an advanced artist. The reason why is not because I just need to get through services. The cure time's not about lashing faster, it's about lashing at your speed. So yes, at an advanced level, if my lashes are super easy to isolate, I can whip through services and a 1-second cure time is perfect. But if there are challenges, or like I've already said, working on new things, I need that little bit of extra time so I can focus on direction and perfecting my placement without having that extension cure slightly before it reaches the natural lash. Even if you make a connection and you're working with a glue that's too fast for you, it could have slightly cured before actually getting that bond and in turn slowly releasing prematurely. So for me, 1-second cure time is quickie adhesive. That's my all-time favorite. But if you're even faster than me, we do have Bondage Pro, which is a 0.5-second adhesive. But for those who are like, I'm not really sure where I sit, I would suggest working with a medium range glue. Our option is Bondage. It's our best seller. Almost everybody loves it. And if you're looking for a glue to start with, I would say Bondage is a great starting point. We also have cyano-free glue for those who have sensitivities, and Sensitize, as well as a clear glue. All of those are all in the same range, but it seems like a lot of people, if they're unsure, Bondage is the go. If you work with our products, I think it would be really helpful for people if you reached out below to let them know which glue is your favorite, and maybe even a little bit about how fast you are as an artist, maybe how long you've been lashing. Honestly, your comments are not only helpful for us here at Lost Artistry because it helps us know what you want us to talk about, but also it's great for the people who are unsure. They look at your comments to see your honest reviews and anything that you have to say about lashing as well. actually lashing. So I don't know if you've gathered yet, but we're working through the service like slow and steady to get to the end. But now I'm actually physically lashing. So my best tip for you to lash faster and get through services and make sure your sets always look amazing is by starting by lashing the bottom layer. The reason why the bottom layer is so important is because A, it's what the clients see when they open their eyes, and B, it's where we get that darkness along the base. So if we cover that bottom layer, even if we don't get through 100% of the rest of the lashes, they'll look amazing. So cover the bottom layer first 100%, work eye to eye for balance. That also helps with speed because no matter what, the eyes will always look the same. And we're not halfway through one eye after finishing the other and feeling like we have to rush. That really throws the sets off and clients will notice that. So lash the bottom layer first, and then from there, just evenly space your lashes as you go. A few on the inner corners, few on the outer corners, few in the middle, and then kind of evenly distribute them across the eye from there. Again, working eye to eye. Promise you, after the bottom layer is done and you spend the rest of your fill timing, however long you have and you feel comfortable with, if you just evenly distribute them like that, the set will always look good and the client won't even notice if it's not 100% covered. Also, throw out the expectations of covering 100% of everyone's lashes because some people have such an abundance of lashes that you wouldn't even make any money while lashing them if you were going to charge them the same as the rest of your clients. So those expectations can be thrown out. Actually, video right here, service timing expectations. I know we all get a little bit caught up in that. So if you're wanting to watch a video about how I feel about service timing expectations, then it's right here. A lot of people say go through and remove lashes at a fill before you even start lashing. And yes, that is great, depending on the style that you're doing. So if the lashes have grown out like crazy, 100% go in there, remove some of the lashes that are really clearly ready to be removed. They will throw off your set. If a lash is like halfway grown out, you wanna make sure you get rid of that. Anything over 1.5 millimeters, I would say just remove it at the beginning of the service, but you can speed up your services by doing this. Instead of going through and spending lots of time in the beginning, getting rid of a ton of lashes, while you're lashing through the layers, while you're lashing through the set, as you come upon lashes that are clearly grown out, you can definitely remove them as you go, and that actually saves time. So it doesn't take long to do as you're working through, just slowly remove them as you find them. And then at the end of the set, it's okay if you've forgotten some, take your inspection mirror, look to see if any lashes are wonky or throwing off your set at all, and then you can go in and remove those. That way, if there's some lashes left over that are still holding on strong and they're not actually throwing off your set, it's okay to leave them. Next, don't brush your lashes all the time. It actually takes so much time to constantly brush through the lashes. Of course, every now and again, you're gonna wanna do so. Honestly, you only have to do a brush through 2 to 3 times the whole set. Brush through at the beginning, a little bit at the middle, and a little bit at the end. That's all you need to do. I do notice a lot of people are constantly reaching for their brush. They lay a lash, they brush, they lay a lash, they brush. It really does add time to your services. Okay, I could go on for hours and hours and hours about how to lash faster. If you have more questions about lashing faster or any fill questions at all, or just lash, doesn't matter, reach out below in the comments. I would absolutely love to connect with you. Thanks so much for watching today. What is that?